My wife got ill, and the only real way that she could have survived was if they were able to diagnose it earlier and more certainly. And they couldn't. So we lost her a little over 5 years ago. There were no words. It was just the most awful thing. I mean, she was my wife, she was my best friend, and that was the beginning of me looking into the challenge of how do we detect cancers and how do we classify them more certainly, more quickly.
Artificial intelligence or machine learning are going to be the key to radiologists being able to continue to serve their patients in a healthy and safe environment.
2 billion people are going to join middle class in the next 7 years. You can't create enough radiologists to support all those 2 billion people. At Zebra Medical Vision, we are on a mission to create as many of the machine learning algorithms that will help existing radiologists detect diseases earlier and prevent illnesses and death, but also to help billions of people to get affordable access to healthcare.
Here in Oxford, we conducted a study looking at 100 CT scans. Zebra was sensitive in 95% of cases and was specific 100%. The impact of Zebra on healthcare is huge. This will save the NHS lots of money, and it will be exciting.
At Zebra Medical Vision, we want to lead the way from sick care to healthcare and make sure everyone's health in the world gets better.
Wow, it's so great to be here. John, Lally, thanks so much for having me. I'm Jeff Herbst. I run the corporate business development function for Nvidia. That includes our GPU Ventures Fund, which has 22 portfolio companies, including a couple of current great companies in Israel. I really love coming to Israel. It's just so great to see all the startups here. And, you know, I joke sometimes, you know, everybody's got a startup in Israel. And if they don't, they try to make one up while they're talking to me. And I learned three things I learned. That was number one. Everyone's a startup. Number two is if they're not a startup, they're a VC, or they're pretending to be a VC. Obviously, we have thousands of investors investing in OurCrowd. And then the third tenet, the third thing I learned, and I've been to Israel now over 20 times. I've lost count, so I get really excited when I come here. I have loads of friends here. But the third thing I notice, whether you're a VC or startup, everyone's in charge of something. You know, if you ask, you know, who's in charge in a room, everybody raises their hand. So we love coming here and we love seeing the startups. So it's been a lot of fun for us. And so I've been with Nvidia just a short time. It's been about 16 years. So I joke that I'm the longest running head of corporate development in the Valley. Not sure why they haven't fired me yet. But some of you may not know that much about Nvidia. What are we doing here? What's a computer graphics company doing on stage with Zebra Medical, who's doing AI? Well, turns out the new Nvidia is a lot different from the old Nvidia that you and maybe your kids use to play games on your PC. And we've basically evolved the company into a GPU computing platform based on parallel computing. And this is really a new wave and a new platform of computing. I'm not going to talk a lot about it now, and I think I'm talking again at noon. We're doing a fireside chat. But it's been a really exciting transformation. The other thing you might not know is Nvidia, I woke up this morning, the market capitalization or the value of the company is now $150 billion. And thank you, yeah. I've been there 16 years, so I've watched it and grown and been part of the growth. That's actually 50% bigger than Qualcomm's market cap, and it's about 75% of Intel's. So we're no longer a small company. We're here. We mean business, and we love coming to Israel because Nvidia has basically built, I'd like to think, is the premier platform for artificial intelligence, in particular deep learning. And we're here in Israel building the ecosystem of companies, large and small, that utilize our platform to do artificial intelligence, which, as we know, is just taking off in a big way. And so. Why am I here with ELAD, my friend ELAD, who I love to see, is because Nvidia is now an investor and a partner in Zebra Medical. And the video is great, but maybe explain a little bit more about Zebra, why it's important and what you guys are doing.
Sure, thank you, Jeff, and it's great to be here. Essentially, Zebra was founded 4 years ago to solve the growing problem of the gap between the demand for radiology or imaging services and the supply of qualified radiologists globally. Everywhere you look, whether it's in advanced economies or healthcare economies such as the US, Western Europe and others, Israel, or developing healthcare economies such as India, China, Brazil and others, the volume of data that's being generated by scans such as CTs, X-rays, MRIs, etc. Is growing almost exponentially. It is almost impossible to train the amount of physicians that are needed to read and interpret and diagnose those scans. And the problem is just getting worse, with about 1 billion people joining the middle class over the next decade and starting to consume more and more of these healthcare services. And the only way to really bridge that gap, as has been done in other industries, is technology. And what Zebra has come to the table to do is really use AI, artificial intelligence, and a vast database of millions and millions of patient scans in order to teach software how to automatically read and diagnose medical imaging data, helping the radiology profession essentially bridge that gap between supply and demand, and ultimately providing us as patients faster, more accurate, more affordable care, regardless of where we are globally.
So before I ask you to talk about a little bit about the partnership we have, I'm in Israel, so I'm allowed to be direct. That's what I'm told. Everybody's direct here. So let me be a little controversial. So there's a lot of companies that are doing what you guys are doing right now. A lot of companies have data. A lot of people are doing perception. AI is crossing the globe. A lot of the tools are open source. Why are you guys better, and why are you guys going to win?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I think Zebra, our approach to solving the problem has been very different. Essentially, we've taken a very broad approach and have said it's not enough to help physicians with very specific problems. We're developing by the end of this year, over 50 different biomarkers that identify different diseases, from lung cancer, breast cancer, heart disease, lung disease, liver disease, and a broad set of conditions, which essentially can really drive radiologists to be tremendously more efficient in their work without compromising accuracy, and along with a unique business model that we launched a few months ago, also affordable. And so the difference is really being able to take over a large component of what radiologists do and completely automating that versus smaller specific findings.
Sounds good. Yeah, no, I think you guys are going to be wildly successful. So tell me a little bit about how you view our partnership. Obviously, we're good friends. We talk all the time. What is it that you are getting out of us, and how have we been helpful?
Yeah, great. So Nvidia has been a great partner on two fronts. One, on the technology side, we would not be able to do what we do at the pace that we do and at the level that we do without the underlying GPU technology of Nvidia, and they've been extremely helpful and supportive in helping us set up the infrastructure that's required in order to develop the software engines that we develop. And then on the other side, on the ecosystem and partnership side, they've been a great supporter of us along the way in terms of making us visible and partnering with us and kind of, looking at us for the long term and how we can grow together, looking at the challenges that we're facing moving forward. So I thank Jeff and Nvidia for that as well.
You're welcome. Yeah, we really love these guys, and we're looking for the next Zebra, the next really great AI companies doing amazing things. So one last question for you. So what's next for AI, for healthcare, and for Zebra? Are radiologists going out of business? I mean, where do you see the future? What are the big trends?
Zebra, at the end of the day, the big dream is to be the world's largest medical imaging lab. There are many kinds of visual imaging data. Radiology is just the start. Pathology, dermatology, ophthalmology. The medical world is filled with visual data that needs interpretation, and that amount of data is only growing. And so our dream is to become the largest company globally to really be able to automatically analyze medical visual data and provide increased accuracy and affordability in helping patients.
Well, we really love you guys. Between you and Deep Instinct, who's our other current investment, we think we found the two best AI companies in Israel. So we're delighted to be partnering. Thanks again for having us, and
thanks very much.
I welcome the opportunity to catch up with you all later.